There's another debate then. Rose or Luke Shaw? Or Ben Chilwell, let's throw him into the mix as well.
No, I think the way Luke Shaw has started for Manchester United, he's got his confidence back and he has so much. And we've been waiting. He's always been a talent and we've just been waiting over the last couple of seasons. But it's good, healthy competition to have for Gareth Southgate.
Jamie?
To be honest, I'm not sitting on the fence. I know that's not my job, but I think they've both got a lot to prove. Really, I think Luke Shaw being out for a long time, injury-wise, he only played 4 games for Man United, and we're all saying Luke Shaw's back. I mean, it feels like years ago, you'd have to be playing well for 4 or 5 months until we sort of said, you know, he's in great form, he get in the England squad, get in the England team. I don't think it's ever been easier to get in the England squad. And I don't try not being disrespectful to the players saying that, but I think if you play a few good games in the Premier League, you know, you're all of a sudden in the England squad. Or
that's not
you
necessarily true.
About.
You could talk about Callum Wilson, Troy Deeney. There are players that everyone was talking about, a clamour for them.
Yeah, but Gareth Southgate come out, I think, the other day and said the certain players in the Premier League, maybe age, profile, different things. Well, OK, Maddison's a perfect one in that we're already talking about him being in the England squad. He's played really well.
But he's not in the England squad.
No, what I'm saying, there's all that talk. I'm saying, it felt like probably when you were younger getting the England squad, or when I was, it felt like you had to do an awful lot to get talked about. Not because there was more players, of course, I understand that. But now it feels like you don't have to do an awful lot. So when we're talking about Danny Rose, now first choice, England, left back. Now, there's not many options, but he hasn't done much this season. He's played 1 game in a friendly against Switzerland, played well. But that's where we're at, and that's a problem for England.
Don't you get the sense, Jamie, that he's actually trying, though, to make it harder to be picked for England, Gareth Southgate, by saying to the younger boys, you're going to have to play in the under-21s and wait your turn. I'm not going to pick you unless you're playing.
Yeah, I don't mind that to a certain extent, but then the argument would be, I feel like I'm picking on him tonight, and I'm really not, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, but...
You'd have to not nice.
I know. But I don't mean to be, because I like him. I think he's got a lot of talent.
That's probably why you are picking him.
Yeah,
You're just frustrated
I'm
because
frustrated.
you know
But I would turn around and say, well, James Maddison, I watched it. I was here 2 weeks ago and watched him against a Liverpool midfield that's as good as any run the game. You were doing a co-commentary, and I'm thinking, well, why is he not maybe ahead of Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who can't really get in the Chelsea team or struggles to get on the bench? That would be my argument against it. Now, if Ruben Loftus-Cheek gets his way into the Chelsea team, absolutely. He's got all the talent. He showed it in the World Cup. But I'm just saying, at this moment in time, I would love to see these young players get an opportunity.
I think what we're talking about and what you're mentioning there, I think a lot of it now, and it has to be this way, it almost feels like Club England, where Garrett's picking maybe Loftus-Cheek, I'm not 100% sure they have him in the under-21s, he knows them well.
Yes, he did.
So it feels like they're actually picking players through the... It's as if like it's a club and the under-21s is the reserves, and if someone comes from that, they don't just pick someone out the Premier League because they know what's happened tonight. That's their only chance to get games. You're saying about younger players not being promoted. It's probably because they're not playing at the clubs, and he's thinking they need 90 minutes. They need games. I think there was talk of, is it Sanchez, the young lad who's gone to Germany, maybe Foden, these different young players say, why not give them a chance? But they're not actually playing a lot of football, so they need to stay in their own age group and get 90 minutes.
I think off the next one in October, I think it may be different because Gareth's picked this squad off the back of a World Cup as well. That the players done well there, they deserve their chance here. So I think a couple more games in the Premier League, then next time in selection it will be different.
I think that's a good point. You know, that's where I want to stay for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I'm going to go back to him. But it is, if he deserves that opportunity. When he played in the World Cup, he did well. But I would love to see a chance now where hopefully the likes of Maddison maintain their form in the first team. You know, even Mason Mount at Derby. I think that these players slowly but surely will get their opportunities.
We've got to get to a break. I just want to finish this point off because I think if you said that to Gareth Southgate about promoting from within, he would argue that is how you create this spirit that we saw at the World Cup, because these players have come through together.
No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm sort of saying it does feel sort of different now. I think years gone by, you'd get someone playing well in the Premier League, like they'd go straight in, whereas I think they see it sort of almost like, as I said, like a club side, and you go through. He was talking about Solanke, how well he played in all the age groups. Now, it may not be right, but if Solanke played a few games for Liverpool, he may have more chance of getting in the England squad than Troy Deeney, because he's come through the age group, they know what he's about. He's a young player, of course, but it's that sort of feeding through to the first team that you'd see at your club. I just think that's not a bad thing, you know, and that's where maybe that spirit does come from. All these players playing together under 21s, Gareth knowing them really well. So I just think that's the way he's going to go with it.